Hey, in this video, we are going to talk about top 10 best suspense thriller movies to watch on Netflix, 2023. Number 10, Prisoners. Any film about a child abduction is bound to be intense, but in Prisoners, filmmaker Denis Villeneuve bottles up and captures an incredibly potent intensity that echoes what any parent of a lost child would feel during an investigation. And it's hard not to feel that racing anxiety and pulsating terror throughout its 2.5-hour runtime. After two young girls go missing, Jake Gyllenhaal's detective Loki arrests the first suspect, Paul Dano, but soon lets him go after failing to find evidence. A furiously explosive Hugh Jackman, who plays the father of one of the girls, decides to take the investigation into his own hands, kidnapping and violently interrogating Dano's Alex himself. From there, we're taken down a twisty path of multiple suspects and red herrings that culminates in a bone-chilling finale. Number 9, Inside Man. One of the best modern-day heist movies, Spike Lee's Inside Man is a masterclass in crackling suspense, both inside and outside of the bank at the center of the film. We follow Clive Owen's Dolphin Russell, who claims to have planned the perfect robbery. When he takes over a Manhattan bank, Denzel Washington's detective Frazier arrives to negotiate the release of the hostages. But things turn messier when secret documents related to the bank's founder, Christopher Plummer, enter the picture and Jodie Foster's ice-cold fixer arrives on the scene to straighten things out. With its precise plotting, taut action, and razor-sharp performances from Foster, Washington, and Plummer, Lee's Inside Man is nothing short of a damn fine caper movie. Number 8, The Beguiled. Sometimes the mere presence of a man is enough to instigate ominous tension. In Sofia Coppola's Gothic Civil War thriller, The Beguiled is a remake of the 1971 Clint Eastwood film of the same name. Colin Farrell plays a wounded Union soldier who falls ill near a Confederate all-girls school. Nicole Kidman's headmaster, Miss Farnsworth, allows him to stay until his health restores, but an atmosphere of sexual unease and jealousy begins to pervade the school as each girl vies for the handsome soldier's affection, especially Kirsten Dunst's Miss Edwina Morrow. The Beguiled soon crescendos into a frenetic thrill ride of violence, secrets, and one very unforgettable meal. Most memorably, Coppola gives us an all-timer line, a distraught Farrell screaming, "You vengeful bitches." Number 7, Enough. Jennifer Lopez gets her sleeping with the enemy moment in Enough as Slim, a mother and survivor of domestic abuse who takes matters into her own hands. After enduring years of violence from her husband Mitch Billy Campbell, Slim finally escapes with her young daughter. But Mitch is a real piece of shit, of course, and he does everything he can to track down and stop her. Much melodrama ensues, but it's the climax of Enough that makes it all worth it. Just imagine what would happen if Jennifer Lopez was really pissed off at Hugh, then suddenly learned a bunch of Krav Maga and decided to get revenge. Number 6, The Wolf's Call. The Wolf's Call is a submarine action thriller that uses sound and silence as its biggest and most effective asset. In this underseen French film from diplomat-turned-director Antonin Baudry, a French sub sets out on a mission to rescue a special forces team, but must do so covertly, without alarming an enemy warship above them or enemy troops stationed nearby. The key to their mission: a sonar expert with a golden ear named Chanterade Friendswise Sybil, who can detect the subtlest underwater sound. That premise sets up an incredibly gripping underwater thriller that slowly builds in tension until the stakes get even higher. The French sub finds itself at the center of potential nuclear war. With a killer cast of French acting veterans including Omar Sy, Matthew Kassovitz, and Rita Kadam, and sound design by Oscar winner Randy Thom, The Wolf's Call is a standout film more than worth your time. Number 5, Side Effects. In Side Effects, Rooney Mara plays Emily, an elite upstate New Yorker who starts to unravel once her husband, Channing Tatum, arrives home after a 4-year prison sentence. Her new therapist, Jude Law, has Emily start a new experimental medication recommended by her former psychiatrist, Catherine Zeta-Jones. At first, she begins sleepwalking, then suddenly something horrific happens. I won't tell you what, but if you dig ultra-twisty psychological thrillers that veer towards the schlocky end of the genre, Side Effects is for you. Steven Soderbergh's exploration of the world of pharmaceutical drugs and therapy is a wild ride with a final twist that, whether you hate it or love it, will keep you guessing till the end. Number 4, Reservoir Dogs. Tarantino's first film is full of all these signature quirks: explosive violence, killer needle drops, cool-as-hell characters, labyrinthine plotting, and plenty of anxiety-inducing tension. After a gang of criminals escape a diamond heist gone awry, with one of them bleeding out in the back of the getaway car, paranoia sets in. Someone definitely snitched to the cops, and now the remaining guys: Harvey Keitel's Mr. White, Tim Roth's Mr. Orange, Steve Buscemi's Mr. Pink, and Michael Madsen's Mr. Blonde, are left to let their suspicions and rage stew as they wait at the hideout. Tarantino essentially shoves a bunch of ruthless gangsters into a room, lights a fire beneath them, and lets us watch the pot boil over. Number 3. Emily the Criminal. Known best for her offbeat deadpan humor, Aubrey Plaza gets to fully immerse herself in a high-stress dramatic role in Emily the Criminal, and it's a real treat to watch. She plays Emily, an artist suffocated by her $70,000 of student debt and a criminal record preventing her from landing a reliable job. Everything is stacked against her until a co-worker hooks her up with a side gig doing credit card fraud, sending her down a new path of danger and financial success. Number 2. The Woman in the Window. If you like your thrillers absolutely over the top and oozing with melodrama, may I introduce you to Joe Wright's deliciously entertaining The Woman in the Window. Based on the A.J. Finn bestseller of the same name, this thriller finds Amy Adams camping it up as Anna Fox, a child psychologist with an extreme case of agoraphobia that prevents her from leaving her Manhattan brownstone. One evening, after guzzling wine and popping prescription medication, Anna believes she's witnessed a murder across the street. But as the detectives begin to question her sanity, Anna also starts to lose a grip on what's real. Of course, you've seen this all before, and that's kind of the point. A mashup of Rear Window meets Gaslight and filled with 12 other references to classic noir that Anna actually watches throughout the movie, The Woman in the Window is more of a cheesy love letter to a subgenre than a successful recreation of one. But boy, does that give way to some good trashy fun. Number 1. Psycho. To be thrilled is to, by definition, be excited. It's why us thriller junkies return to the genre again and again, itching to be left on the edge of our seats. No film explores and executes that more brilliantly than Psycho. Hitchcock's 1960 classic understands how terror and pleasure can intermingle when we witness something ghastly. In Psycho, it's Anthony Perkins' voyeurism that's on display as the queasily terrifying Norman Bates, the final person Marion Crane, Janet Leigh, meets at her fateful stop at the Bates Motel. But it's also our voyeurism on display as Hitchcock was keenly aware of the viewer's desire to watch menacing danger unravel on screen. Manifesting that terror and titillation so evocatively across his work is what made him the master of suspense, and what in many ways makes Psycho one of the greatest and most game-changing thrillers of all time. From Hitchcock's direction to DP John L. Russell's innovative camera work, the final transition shot will haunt you for ages, and Bernard Herrmann's frightful, nerve-jangling score. Not to mention the shocking first-act twist. Psycho's influence can still be seen across the genre. If you love similar content like this, take a look at my other videos. And if you like it, please smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell.